Life doesn't come with a grading rubric.
Unmarked is an open conversation between two international teachers meddling through their life, love, and purpose far from home.
No edits,
No filters.
this is Unmarked.
Hello, Sprint here, Unmarked's back, Nika, Carol back on the couch.
And it's episode 17.
Yes, so long actually, if you think about it.
Yeah.
17 episodes.
Do you remember all the episodes and what you've spoken about?
I don't remember what I've spoken about, but I remember the topics.
Okay.
Do you remember what we were yapping in all of those episodes?
No, definitely not. And sometimes I'm so surprised at how much stuff we conjure up on this couch.
True. Sometimes it's silly, but sometimes I think we are also surprised how wise we can be here.
There are usually little nuggets of information hidden between.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Usually we giggle when we edit. So we actually have a little announcement for you, our listeners. Miss Carol, do you want to share that announcement?
So this recording will be the last one we're doing before our spring break.
Which also means it would make sense for us to take a little pause in this season of our life, and we are going to come back with new episodes in our season 2 when we are back. So I'm excited. We already have ideas and topics, and we are so passionate, I think, about this baby. So stay with us, and yeah, thank you very much for being with us this season 1. Now we are turning to season 2. But hey, Carol. Hello. How was your week? What's up?
It's a very long week. We did have our parent-teacher conferences, so that meant that we had 3 extra long days. I feel like it's the end of term already, even though we have 1 more week of school.
Yeah, I had the same when you said that last Friday, I think. I also noticed that now I feel it's done. I finished talking, I finished most of my tasks with the kids. Now just time to wrap up before the break and, spring clean in the classroom. Yeah.
But man, like if we are in this state of mind, can you imagine our students?
Yeah.
It will be a crazy yep week.
Yeah. I won't have huge expectations from next week, which is going to be the last week. I'll just go with the flow. Just make sure they don't hurt each other. They don't hurt me. Done.
The bare minimum. They walk into school with 4 limbs. They leave with 4 limbs.
Yeah.
And a head. And that's our goal.
Yeah.
But I blame it on the full moon.
I was checking the other day. I was like, oh my god, they were so loud last week. I swear there were so many times when I had to stop the whole process. I was like, we need to learn how to stand, how to raise our hands, like so basic. And then I even googled, I was like, is it full moon? No. Is it Mercury?
Or moon or something?
Well, definitely there was something, because otherwise I can't explain. They were just nuts.
Yeah, one of the days I had a cover teaching assistant standing in, and I swear I think she probably thinks that I am crazy. Because she came in, my desks were set one way, she went out, she came back, and all the desks were rearranged.
I think that our kids sometimes really, well, I don't want to say make us act a certain way.
They do make us act a certain
which
way.
we're not happy about that. I was so angry and also disappointed a little bit in a way that why do I need to stop my plan? I planned the lesson, but now I have to interrupt and stop that just because you are too excited. So I need to teach you again, how do we raise a hand? How do we listen to each other? It really pissed me off.
Yeah. So right now everyone's desks is lined up facing the board, traditional kind of seating.
And 3CL got it.
And you know what? It worked.
Oh,
So I'm starting to doubt the whole system
true.
because it works.
Sometimes we are so involved into
Yeah.
modern teaching techniques and like seating arrangement, but let's not forget the traditional method of education.
There needs to be a balance somewhere.
True. But this whole week I was so happy actually to speak to so many parents, because at the end of the week, at the end of the parents meeting, it made me think so much about parents, parenting generally, having kids. And I remember we even had this conversation with my assistant because she was translating most of it. And I told her, I was like, you know what? We need to be very careful when it's our time to become parents. And we have to choose wisely the people who we decide to have family with, because, oh gosh, it's difficult.
When parents step in, we do see all the dynamics that are happening, especially as we have also the child with them, like with us during the conference.
You did?
Yeah, a few of them. Quite many of them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine were not so, they would stay.
They were not keen. Okay.
Which I was happy, because a lot of kids were not acting in the same way as in class with me. And I also saw that as dynamic. But do you agree that, sometimes when the parent would came in, you kind of like having a conversation with the parent and you're like, okay, I don't have any more questions to the kids. I don't have questions why the kid is acting a certain way.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had parents where they step in. I've had this student who constantly conjures up like very fantastical stories. And then this parent steps in. They mention that, we've been in prison for 3 months upon first meeting. So I'm like, yeah, we can kind of match the child to the parent. Just saying.
Yeah, there were so many moments when I wanted to tell so many things to the parents, but mainly I think my message right now is that parents, we do know a lot.
Yes.
If you think that your kid doesn't share the information about your family, no, we do know a lot.
Probably a little too much.
Too much. And sometimes they also kids, so they sugarcoat it, or not even sugarcoat it, exaggerate things. And so be careful.
On the flip side, I also had parents telling me that, my child acts this way in school. They're very neat, they're very organized in school. They're totally messy at home. Are you sure she helps in class?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I'm very sure she does.
I heard different. You know what I noticed is that nowadays you tell them something and there was a little amount of parents who would actually hear and ask you for advice or ask you like, okay, how can we help that? Most of the time they would try to not attack but find an excuse for this behavior. Or, my favorites like, but at home they don't behave like that. At home we don't see that behavior. I'm like, well, congratulations. Also, I don't believe in that. Because it can't be like that. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're not like having double life like agents. No, they also act like that.
But it does bring out a different side of them, I think. So I usually just tell them, look, I'm not questioning your understanding of your child. You do see them at home, but then I see them in school.
Yeah, and
so
we
it's
see
a
a different setting.
environment.
Yeah, we
Because
see
we have
it.
20 plus other peers.
Yeah, and we see them mainly like communicating with others because
Yeah.
at home, that was my favorite. There was a parent and she was saying, well, but they play so much with the cousins and we don't see that. I'm like, yeah, because it's family. But when this child comes and there are so many friends and also not friends, that's when we see them communicating. That's different.
Yeah. Well, and with that,
Gosh, yeah.
that is our topic today about kids and how they are influenced by parents and parenting in general.
Yeah. Or how they influence us.
Yeah,
And our views. Yeah.
I hope in a good way.
I hope so too. For sure.
To continue with kids being influenced by their upbringing, what are some examples that you've seen in class, good ones or bad ones?
Of parenting?
Of like you see the child and then you see the parent and then you go, yeah. Good ones too, because there will be good examples, I hope.
there will be, I think, not in this setting here, but I had really good parents whose influence and whose cooperation I would see. The type of a parent who would really connect with me, try to understand me also as an individual, because it's not like I'm just a teacher, I'm also an individual. So there were a lot of cases when the parent would email me on a weekly basis asking, okay, could you please tell us how is it in this way? Do you think we should, for example, go and see if our child needs this kind of support and stuff like that? So I consider this as an act of parenting, and definitely then later you see that in the child. But obviously it doesn't happen all the time, because parents somehow, I don't know why this dynamic started developing, but they see us as something like as if we don't want to understand the kids, or as if we are trying to be right in everything. And I don't like it, because that's so not true. And then because later you see that in the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our very first meeting with parents, that's always the toughest in term 1, because they don't have that trust built yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then once they see, oh, okay, yeah, this teacher is also on my child's side, then things are so much easier after. I've seen parents where this child is so sweet, always very involved in class, and then I see the parents, I'm like, yeah, she is so supported from home.
You see
and
that.
it explains. Or if you see a parent who is constantly a little anxious in the way they speak and stuff, it carries forward to the child.
Yeah,
And it's so interesting to see.
it's so interesting, because they not only look alike, but they also
Act.
they copy somehow the attitude, good or bad. And so there were so many situations this parent-teacher conference when I'm like, oh, okay, I really understand now the child better.
Yeah.
I understand, because he or she sees that parent at home every day, every morning. I understand it, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. As a teacher, we see so many parents in a year. I've also seen very sad ones where they would just come into PDC, they don't even really look at you, they're on their phones.
I saw that.
And then they're like, okay, just tell me this, yes, next. I've even had parents where the child calls back home and says that, look, mom, I'm not feeling well, this, that. And the child does not do that on a frequent basis. So it's very rare for that child to do that. And for them to do that, they must be feeling unwell. They wanted to skip like club time. The parent does not believe him or her. Yeah.
I think you were a bit more optimistic about that, but for me, I was really struggling with parenting, especially after this parent-teacher conference. Back in Cambodia, I saw other dynamic that was, in a way, they would send their nannies or grandparents or tutors even sometimes to see the teacher. Yeah, that was the case. But because I think that was a bit more kind of like richer environment, I don't know how to say it correctly. Here you see parents showing up, but there were so many situations when I saw them just not being even like, they would not even listen.
They're not present.
They're not
They're
there.
somewhere else.
One parent he came and we spent like less than 5-minute talk. I told everything I wanted, and then I said to my assistant, could you ask if he has any questions? And he said no, and he left.
And that was it.
And okay, well, that child, I didn't have any concern, but what if I do? What if I do have concern, then what do I get back? Nothing? Yeah. That made me actually struggle a little bit with my own understanding of parenting, because I'm from the active parent family. Both parents were very much involved in conversations and education, stuff like that. So for me, seeing another model, I question myself, what's right or wrong? And also, what I notice is that we're getting closer and closer to the age when those parents are like a couple years older than us. That didn't make me feel better anyhow, because I felt like, oh, well, they are almost my age and I'm scared now.
Yeah. And actually, I remember studying this in my degree, but there are the different types of parenting styles which results in different attachment styles in the child. But there are very damaging ones, like the neglectful style of parenting where you're just absent in the child's life. You're physically present, but you're just not there really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are seeing. And on the flip side, there are also parents who are indulgent.
Yes.
Very permissive.
Yeah.
Whatever they want. Whatever the child wants, they get.
Which is not always good.
Those children cannot follow the systems in school because they would expect a reward at every turn of the corner. But that is not right.
First of all, I think it's not healthy.
Yeah.
But if you don't give them what they would like to get from you, they start a tantrum, A. B, they would start being aggressive. They don't know how to cope with their emotions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because they're constantly bothered with candy, phone time, screen time, and things like that. Those are things that we teachers cannot solve. The child comes in with all of this baggage and then we have to deal with it somehow.
What also made me think about, I'm really trying to also understand parents because I'm at this age of my life when I understand, well, technically right now I could have kids, you know. But I'm also trying to understand them and kind of get into their shoes to understand, okay, she sits in front of me and she's saying like, I'm going through a divorce and I'm raising my kids alone. I do really try to understand that, but I think life happens to everyone and you can't plan it whether you're going to be always with the same partner, whether your family is going to be financially stable or not. So life happens and you can't predict what's going to happen. But same goes for our parents. I'm pretty sure, I don't know about your family, but in my family, we were going through different stages of our life when, you know, we would be financially more stable, less stable, but it didn't influence my parents being present in my life. So I do try to understand why it would sprinkle this, but at the same time, come on, you are the parent, now you take responsibility. Whatever happens, buckle up.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds very aggressive, I'm sorry.
Just being a little bit more present in your child's life, even if it's on a weekend, you know, some family time that is not screen time.
Yeah, please, no screen time. Because I noticed how addictive those reels in Instagram and like shorts, YouTube shorts are even for an adult. And imagine what it happens. For them. Yeah, right. It's just, please don't do it. Find another way.
Yeah. What I do see that is different here is that the children are expected to grow up independently with the support of their older siblings. I did not see that in Malaysia because in Malaysia, I think the presence of the parent is still much more obvious. But over here, the older siblings sometimes have the duty of care. Yeah. And it kind of affects the child as well. They do seem matured, but then they're still kids, you know? Yeah.
I think that's actually maybe at least better than as if no one would care.
Yeah.
You know? It's like delegating. But then also if you think about it, then this child, this older sibling, then they automatically have to take care of the child that
which is not right too, because they are children too.
Yeah. For instance, in my family it was pretty similar model. So my brother would really take care of me, especially
but in terms of cooking,
not it could be not cleaning, definitely no, in terms of, let's say I need to go to school and our school was not too big and that's why they had to do shifts. So I would go to school in the afternoon from 1 till 5. And he studied in the morning. So my mom obviously would work at that time and she cannot take me to school. So that was my brother's responsibility to, after his studies, come back, give me lunch because I was too little to cook myself.
But mom has prepared lunch?
Yeah. So he would just make sure I'm full and then he would pack me and we would go to school together. And a lot of parents, they saw it and then they would tell my mom like, oh, they look so cute because my brother was not too tall. I'm obviously very short. And then, you know, both of us like going to school. But
how much older is he?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so cute.
Yeah, it's a cute difference. But I think, you know, it didn't kind of spoil our relationships with my mom as well. But I do know that it influences then how you communicate with your sibling. Because for me, then my brother, all my life later, he would be the role model number one. And if I need to do something, I would not ask permission from my parents. I need to ask permission from him.
Oh,
so I think
so
it really,
cute.
yeah, well, you say. But I think it really has pluses and minuses on that. But you know what I was thinking? Because you are from a very kind of unique place in a way, because there are too many cultures in Malaysia, and you have a chance to also have different parenting styles, as you mentioned. So do you want to comment what's the traditional Chinese kind of upbringing at home, and then Malay, and I don't know if you know anything about Indian upbringing, whether and what maybe something that you would like to pick from each, or maybe you would like to stick to one side?
In Malaysia, yes, there are 3 cultures, but if you think of the typical Asian parent, it would still be that very involved in the child's academics, wanting them to be doctors, lawyers, engineers. I think that is applicable to all ethnicities. But there are subtle differences in that the Chinese parents are known to be your tiger moms and tiger dads, where they will send a child to every single possible co-curricular activity that exists. Yeah,
I've seen this in Korean parenting. The child, I saw the schedule and I was like,
so full.
When do you have free time?
Some
What
of
is
them
free
even
time?
eat in cars.
They do.
So, packed lunch in cars.
I was
Can
like,
you imagine?
geez, this is too much.
Yeah.
You're tired. Yeah.
So that's the stereotype for Chinese parents in Malaysia. And for the Indian parents in Malaysia, they will be very strict, especially on their daughters. That's what I hear. And then they want them to be doctors, lawyers, or engineers, nothing else. That's the stereotype.
Cliche, yeah.
Yeah, or teachers for daughters. And then they expect them to work very hard, obviously, because sometimes being the minority ethnicity, you grow up with this philosophy or this idea that I have to work hard, twice as hard, thrice as hard, to be able to thrive in the country, to be able to have opportunities, because there are quotas for things, and when you are the minority, you just have to step up. But then for the Malay parents, they are more sort of carefree. This is the stereotype, okay? Yeah, but they are known to be more carefree. Of course, they uphold the religious upbringing sort of part of education, but then also there is a lot of older siblings guiding the younger siblings, quite similar to what you see here, actually. Yeah.
How much of the stereotypes are true?
They're quite true when I was brought up. Not my parents specifically, but with my peers.
Yeah, like your surrounding.
Yeah, so I do hear from Malay friends about their parents, Indian friends about their parents. Kind of true.
Yeah.
But times are changing.
Yeah.
You also have Malay parents, for example. They're realizing that, they're seeing that, okay, these academic sides are very important as well. Let me send my child to a Chinese school so that they can also pick up that language. Or a Chinese parent who is more westernized is now more laid back with their approach. No more full schedules, So it's a balance.
A lot of parents here, they see a child as investment.
Yeah.
Well, I was never set like that, but my mom and my dad, they would always kind of make it evident that we are now investing and we are working so hard for your future. I would have tutors, I would go and do different kind of clubs after school, but it wasn't in a way just to make me busy, but also we just want to put the basic setting in you, and then you decide what you want to do with that. Whilst I think it is a little bit different with Western Europe countries or maybe US parenting, because there it's more like, since childhood, we don't want to put pressure on the child. The child will decide what they want. Again, I think that's like main stereotype. Yeah.
But then it goes 2 ways. They get kicked out at 18 or like even 16.
True.
And I've had this conversation with some of the international staff coming from North America or even Europe. And we were talking about the differences in the parenting styles in our culture, and we say, you know what? It's so nice to have the freedom to choose what you study and whatever that is. But then they say, well, but we have to fund our own education. Your parents paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
And then they get kicked out very early from home. It's
so
very
early.
awkward for them to go back home.
Yeah.
But then for me, for example, I lived at home until I was 23, 24. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have a lot of like stereotypes that they still live with parents and stuff like that. But I actually think, especially in Europe, you would see it would be so common if you go to bachelor. Let's say if you do bachelor in Ukraine, they're all your peers. But in Europe, you could really be in the university with the guy who's like 30. Just because the parents were not insistent and he was a bit free in the choice. Okay, what do I want to do with my life? Okay, let me have a gap year, go travel in Europe and, I don't know, go to New Zealand, pick up the apple, like whatever, right? So I don't know whether too much freedom actually is good also, because then at the 17-year-old age, I don't think you will be able to make the decision. Well, you're lucky if you do, if you know what you want to do and you know for sure that that's your area of interest. But also, how many people with me who were studying at university did not end up being a teacher?
Yeah,
so it's very controversial.
I think the pressure is huge on an adolescent, really, to choose their life path based on the degrees. And yeah, even I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to do, and I changed my vision so many times across my entire bachelor's degree.
It's too much pressure also, but at the same time,
It's a passport to adult life and work.
Yeah, go find your way and find something that you're interested in. But then when is the age and how parents need to communicate that? Because what if my child, 25 years old, and he or she still doesn't know what they want to do? Maybe I as a parent should have supported or talk or see the interest and stuff like that. I think it's like a lot of pressure, obviously, for a teenager basically to choose what you want to do. But I think generally you need to at least get the bachelor education so that you understand how it works, how the world works, what it's like to be a student. And then, up to you.
Yeah. From then on, it's like up to you, but at least you will be employed somewhere as a backup.
I think on this kind of serious note, we should take a little pause. You can unpack what we've mentioned and we'll come back in Unmarked.
This is Unmarked. Hello. Welcome back to Unmarked. So, we had a technical glitch. We have no idea how that happened. But at the end of Marked, Nika realized that her mic was off.
Yeah. And
mine was still on,
but
then
we checked the audio and it sounds like it was not on both of our mics.
Yeah. But we are going to post it anyway. So bear with us.
Yeah. Keep your headphones on. Try to hear us.
Yeah, refilming is always not a choice because it will not be as exciting.
That's true. Let's keep yapping then. I hope this time it works with the mic.
I think it will work.
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
Oh, wow.
I'll just start with the question straight away.
Carol decided to knock the ground off my feet.
With all these things that you've seen as a teacher. Would you have
teacher.
Kids? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I want to have kids. Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
I think it's very beautiful, this parenting stage and, nesting and bringing something nice to this world. But
I kind of just want to see what the genetic combination would.
That's actually, because my family's blood, my dad's side is very strong. Okay. Especially when we were younger, I have cousins and we would meet for family gathering and it's like as if we are just all twins there.
Oh.
Yeah, obviously now we grow up a bit and we change, but I'm just generally curious to see that lottery gift. What's gonna happen? I'm pretty sure all parents, when they decide to have kids, they really have this hope that they will be not the perfect parents, but they will do their best. And then, as I mentioned earlier, along the way life happens, I think there is so much pressure on parents to kind of still be involved, still be there.
Yep.
So for many years, I was questioning whether I am ready to be a parent because of that, because I'm not stable in my life and I don't even have a constant permanent place of living. What will I be able to give to my child in terms of my background and stuff? But then I realized that actually you should not worry about that. If you are ready, well, first of all, what it means to be ready to have kids, big question. But I think when the time is right for you, when you understand that, okay, now I need to take responsibility for someone else, and that's going to be a long time.
Yeah, I don't think there is ready, but as long as you have a sense of responsibility, when that responsibility lands on you, it would be instinctual to just go on with it, I think. Yeah. And I have no doubt that I would be able to do it.
Yeah. But obviously it's important who you are with in that process, because you need someone who will be with you on the same page. For instance, in my family, my dad, he was providing, whilst my mom, she was mainly involved with our upbringing in terms of, okay, what school do you go to? It should be prestigious. What college then you choose? And yeah, I think if you're both understand like, okay, we are doing this now for someone else, then it's going to work.
Yeah, and I think your partner should complement you in terms of their skill set.
True.
Yeah. Because I, for example, would be very interested in the cognitive development of the child, but emotionally, like I can do it, but I really need someone who can help with that when it comes to bringing up that child. Yeah, if you're exactly the same, I don't think that child is going to get a very well-balanced upbringing. But if you bring with you different views, different skill sets, then the child will benefit from that.
Yeah, I think it's this big stereotype, good policeman, bad policeman, or like good parent, bad parent. If the child misbehaves, then it's like mom or dad will be the one having a serious conversation.
Take turns.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What are the stereotypes from your setting where you grew up, and what are the ones that you would probably take into your own parenting when you're ready to become one?
So basically, we will have phrases from when we were kids, stereotypical phrases from parents, not my parents specifically, but from my culture, and I will see if we will still use it moving forward. Yeah. We have one that you've kind of touched on. I'm paying for your education because you are an investment. I would be using that anymore if I have a child. Even for my parents, I mean, of course, they are clear in that we should be supporting, but they also have their own retirement plan.
True.
The pressure does not fall solely on the child's shoulders.
I also think nowadays, don't get me wrong, education is important, but you see a lot of also professions nowadays that do not require you to go to college. I understand why it was a necessity for our parents, because that's how they saw this model, that you need to be educated and then you get a good job. But in nowadays world, it's not necessarily to be like that. Yeah, you should be educated, life educated, but you can also become, I don't know, singers or actors. Not necessarily they have degree, you know what I'm saying? Or, well, bloggers or YouTubers. They don't have to go to college. And as a parent, then you don't have this necessity to be pushy towards go to college. You have to settle down, get a job, stuff like that.
I actually disagree. I think that nowadays the benchmark has been moved even higher. So everyone has to have at least a degree. Like a degree is nothing anymore. Like it's
That's
a
why
doormat.
it lost the value.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's a standard part of education, and then after your degree, yeah, whatever.
Now having even masters means nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a bare minimum. But if you think about it, 20, 30 years ago, having a degree, for example, my dad, he doesn't have a degree, but it
Used
doesn't,
to be a huge
yeah.
thing.
So it was like a huge value. Then for us, for me and my brother, he would be pushy saying, no, you have to get it to get successful in life. But then I think we just really, as parents, at least that's what I would like to do. I don't want to be pushy towards like, get serious. You should have a degree just because without this, you will not get this, and that.
No, actually, I think everyone else has a degree. If your child does not have a degree, it already sets one step behind. So you need to at least finish your degree and then you can do whatever you want. It's always something that you can fall back to because that has already become a bare minimum.
But then if you have a degree in one area and then you decide completely different area,
That's fine.
I don't think so, because if you study, let's say, law or medicine, there is no way you're gonna have your degree and then change it. Because if you are in that, it's a long process. You can't just shift it along the way.
If the child wants to, if that is their choice, like to complete a law degree, then they will complete that. But then if they choose to do something else after they've graduated, that's their choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's better to be a blogger with a degree than a blogger without a degree.
Also true.
Get your
Yeah.
degree and then you do whatever you want.
So you will be the parent saying,
Yeah, I know you
Get
want to
your
be
degree.
a blogger. You can be a blogger, but then get a journalism degree then, something that interests you. Or
True.
digital design. Like
Okay,
at
what's
least a
next?
degree. We have a saying in Mandarin, which is, I ate more salt than you have eaten rice. Meaning I've lived long enough, I have more experience than you.
yeah, we have something similar. We have this, listen to me, I've lived a life, something like that. Stereotypical. I think that's the card that all parents play. When they see that maybe you're not going in the direction that is good for you, they would say that phrase. My
But
mom would
it's-
always say that to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I know, I've been there, Nika, listen to me. I'm like,
I think it's good that they're giving advice, but at the same time, the world is also so different right now that not all advice can be applicable.
true. And time has changed so quickly.
Yeah.
The generation of our parents, they went through so many changes so
Yeah.
quickly. So like how they, for example, were brought up, it was not valid when they were parents themselves. So I think they were kind of figuring it out on the way with us, like, okay, what do I say? Do I say this? Well, but that's not nice now to say that and stuff like that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you'll have something like this. I sacrificed so much for you, and this is how you treat me?
Toxic. Obviously, if a parent says something like that, the relationship are not going to be good between a child and a parent. So I would definitely not gonna
Or
say
like,
that.
I gave birth to you.
Yeah, have respect or something like
Yeah.
that.
But I think it's like
Yeah.
a guilt tripping. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and believe me or not, I've met parents like that who were like, I've already kind of did my job, so they should be grateful. I'm like, no, you
They
made
did
that
not
decision.
ask
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
birthed. You can't hold on to that point and expect your child to, I don't know what you want your child to do. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just generally whatever relationships you have. It sounds to me like blackmailing or like ultimatum. What are you trying to say? That's a choice
Yeah.
that you make. Whatever, don't say that.
Okay, still career oriented. Study hard or you'll end up selling chicken rice. You're gonna end up flipping burgers. You're gonna end up working as a zookeeper. I don't know. This kind of mentality.
I don't think we had this, but I've heard this actually in Cambodia. One of the parent, that was the kid, told me that. She came and she said, oh, I need to study hard because my dad said then I will go and sell myself on the street if I don't. And she was like 8. I was like, oh dear, no, that he didn't mean it this way. So I don't think in Ukraine we had sayings like that. What's wrong with selling rice and chicken?
Yeah.
Or, in our case, that would probably be a street cleaner,
Yeah.
something like community service work, which I think, again,
The only
Toxic.
beef I have with this sentence is it's putting another job down.
Yeah, because we need these people too.
It's not easy, but if it's a life that child chooses for themselves, it is an honest living.
Sure. Or what if people just want to be gardeners?
Yeah,
Again,
but
you don't have to study there.
They can be flipping burgers with a degree. They can be gardeners with a degree. Just saying.
True. You are so much a teacher. You want people to get degree even if they don't want
Yes, it is a
that.
passport. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like a standard set where you finish secondary, you go to college, but then it doesn't end there.
Study hard. Otherwise, Miss Carol will be ay to you.
Okay, with food.
Oh,
Yeah, always comments about food like, oh, you should drink more of this soup. It kills everything. You should finish that, or you're too skinny, or you've eaten too much. Like
yeah,
all of
definitely.
it.
Maybe not my parents, but my grandparents. Actually, in Ukraine, that would have logic because there was war, right?
Yeah.
There were times when people didn't have food. So for that generation, actually, that's super, super important. Whilst I think it doesn't bring a healthy relationship with the food then later.
Yeah.
Because I now have, even my mom would say, you have to finish that soup because then you will get your power. I mean, there is nothing bad about the saying. But now, if I have to leave the food that I can't finish, I feel bad about that.
Yeah, I think it comes from a place of care, but then also the child should learn how to read their internal cues for hunger and also satiety. I think that's what you call feeling full.
But do you have something your grannies would say, going to the granny means you would have to eat so much and she
it's very
cannot,
typical.
you can't say no to your granny.
Yeah, I didn't really have this problem with my own family, but I've been to family houses where they would literally force their ideology on you, be it medicines, like traditional medicines that they think would work, and you have no say in that. I feel absolutely frustrated with it because you are an adult. Yes, sure, you've eaten more salt, whatever. I am an adult too, and I come with a different set of beliefs. You cannot impose yours on mine.
Yeah. Do we have anything more?
Well, the idea that, oh, she or he is older than you, so you just keep quiet and listen. You have to bear with it.
Like unconditional respect.
Yes.
Controversial, because I think we should have respect to older people. But if it's mutual and you see that back, because I think I respect even my 9-year-old students because I think it works like a boomerang. If you show respect, you will get it back. But respect out of just the sake of it, no.
I have a hard time digesting that because I used to think that if this person is older, they should be wiser.
True.
But then apparently not.
Yeah. Being old doesn't mean you're wise.
It has nothing to do with chronological age, unfortunately. But of course, I can still be polite and courteous, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I need to go an extra mile for you.
Yeah. Like I said, if you see that mutual, then it's fine. But if you see that it's being a bit
Like,
like
you're always on the negative side.
yeah, or when they try to have the superior mentality, no. We are
Yeah.
polite.
What about comparisons between child? Why can't you be more like your brother, or why can't you be more like your sister?
Okay, big topic.
Because I think that is often used in Asian
Yeah.
households, and it's not limited to the household. They could even say, "Oh, why can't you be more like our neighbor?" Or
Okay.
like someone else in class.
Again, I think it comes from love. Sounds weird, but I
And
think
desperation.
yeah. Because it's like, well, but look at this child. This child also has 2 arms, 2 ears. Why can't you do that? Sometimes I have to pull this out in my class. So I think it comes from like the best intentions that you want them the best,
Yeah.
but it's not good for the child, I think.
Yeah. I think it's good for them to have role models, to have upward comparison. But then it has to be achievable. If it's not achievable for the child, then it's very damaging.
True.
For example, if you can already do 5 push-ups, comparing yourself with someone who can do 8 is good for you. But if you are comparing yourself to someone that can
20.
already do 20, then it's actually damaging for your self-esteem. So yeah, be very, very careful when you want to make any comparisons for your child and someone else.
True. The other day, I was thinking that we are actually right now more or less experiencing parenting, motherhood without being mothers. It's so weird, but it is like that. Obviously, I don't think they are my kids. God forbid. Sometimes when they call me ma, I'm like, no, 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 never. I don't want to have that.
At least we can send you home.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite thing is like when it's break, like holiday break, and then I realize that for 2 weeks I won't see them, but the parents do. They will see them every day. So I think it's a nice job that we do here, not just because we also help the society or community, the world to make a better place and so on and so forth, but also for us, we kind of learn different types of parenting, or we learn different personalities in kids. Do you think you definitely know what you're gonna do as a parent?
Nah, because even if you have child A and then child B comes out, child B will be totally different from child A. And I think you will need a very different set of tools and techniques to work with that child.
True.
I mean,
Sometimes even in one family,
yeah.
two different kids.
But at least we don't start from zero. We've seen successes and failures.
True. We know how to calm down a tantrum. Skill, check.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, big topic, serious conversation, controversial thoughts. Share your thoughts with us. Hopefully mics are working, and we'll see you in homework. This is Unmarked.
Hello again. Back to our homework section. So this week, we have a fun show to watch, and I would strongly recommend watching that with your kids. It's Inside Out. The first one as well as the second one, right? They've had two
True.
so far.
I think my favorite is still the first one, but I know that the second one shows a bit more of like
Of her growing up.
yeah, teenagehood. Like it's
Navigating.
brilliantly shown, this stage when you have so many feelings and you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah. As adults, it's also nice to look back and reflect on those periods of growth and what is happening inside their little brains.
And don't forget, they're mini, but they're humans.
And the screenwriters as well as the producers work very closely with clinical psychologists to make sure that facts are accurate. So yeah, worth watching.
Yeah, educational.
Not pseudoscience.
Listening this week, it will be something more related to fatherhood, actually. So that's the song called Father and Son by Cat Stevens. That's the song showing the generation talk between a father and the son. You don't have to rush, and you need to enjoy your life. Don't rush, and you can marry whenever you want or whoever you want, and you can have your things figured out. This kind of wisdom, the transition of wisdom is depicted there. It's a very beautiful song.
Look, we also wanted to be fair to
True.
men, okay?
Men.
So this one's for you. And finally, to read, speaking about parenting styles, I mentioned two in our marked section. So the permissive style as well as neglectful style, I believe. Yeah. So there are 4 basic types of parenting according to psychology. You also have authoritative and authoritarian. So have a look at those and see if those resonate with you being a parent, or you could also reflect on your own childhood and what kinds of parents you've had.
True.
Yeah.
And what kind of parent you want to become?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, as we've mentioned, you can share your thoughts with us, as always, at our social media and Instagram. You can send us an email, leave us a review in whatever you get your podcast at, and we will get back with more new episodes, fresh ideas after our break.
Yes. So we will not see you next week. We will see you the week after the next.
On that note, season 1 Unmarked. That was Nika.
And Carol.
And that was
Unmarked Season 1.